This is the Tallahassee Business Podcast, bringing you engaging conversations with influential members of the community that you need to know. This episode is brought to you by MillCreek Financial Consultants. At MillCreek Financial Consultants, we offer more than just financial planning. We develop a relationship with you that helps you avoid common missteps, make confident decisions, and put your assets to work so you can enjoy the peace of mind that comes from financial security. Don't delay your important financial decisions any longer. Schedule a time to meet with our MillCreek Financial Advisors and begin the journey towards achieving your dreams by visiting millcreekfinancialconsultants.com. No investment strategy can ensure peace of mind, assure profit, or guarantee against loss. Securities, products, and advisory services offered through Park Avenue Securities, LLC, PAS, member FINRA, SIPC.
Hello, everybody. This is Sue Dick with the Tallahassee Chamber of Commerce, here with somebody who just even prepping for the podcast continues to just blow my mind, everything she's involved in. And I know it's our listeners, you're going to walk away with more information and also inspired and really motivated to go out and continue to do the great work that our business owners and our members do. So I am here with Ashley Guy, founder and owner, Tallulah CBD Mushroom THC. Ashley, thanks so much for coming in.
Hey, Sue. Great to be here.
Well, this is exciting. Like I said earlier, there's so much information that we're going to just jump right into this. But before we talk about your successful businesses, tell us a little bit about you, how you found yourself here in Tallahassee, Leon County, and really what secret of your success has been.
Yeah. Well, I moved from Seattle to Tallahassee 4 years ago. My husband at the time took a job with True Leave, and it brought us here to the great city of Tallahassee. I love the city. Before I was a teacher at an alternative high school, and I didn't ever see myself as a business owner. I just saw myself as a teacher. But then the move gave me some different ideas. I didn't feel like teaching anymore. I felt like making a change. And I saw an opportunity in CBD. I had read up about CBD, and I had tried it for my arthritis in my hand. I have arthritis in my hand that's been bothering me for about 10 years. So I was using the CBD, and I was thinking, this is something. I'm on to something here. And everywhere I looked around town, I didn't see a business that I could get CBD from. So I thought, I'm going to start my own CBD store. So I opened Tallulah in 2019, right before the pandemic, and have just grown ever since, from one store to 6 stores in 3.5 years. And it really transitioned from lots of pivots, from CBD to adding in kratom, glass pieces, float pods, a kava bar, lots of different products and expansion.
Well, I mean, Ashley, I think that's impressive, especially when you talk about pre-COVID. I remember we talked the year COVID hit, and I remember just being fascinated, and just, you had said business has been so strong. So there's reasons that we can talk about that. But again, for our listeners to really kind of get the understanding of the footprint that you have, where are some of your locations?
Yeah, the flagship store, Tallulah CBD Mushrooms and THC, is on Market Street in the Market Street District area. And then Bannerman came next. There's a store up in Bannerman. And then we have a great location in Railroad Square with float pods, a new store in Midtown where Sodo, the donut shop, used to be, and then also a second spot in Bannerman Crossings. That's a big kava bar, and then also a Thomasville, Georgia location, which does really well. And the great thing about Tallulah is each store is really successful and does well. It's just a great wellness brand that I've been able to build. And I really get excited about Tallulah and building a business and just doing as much as I can all the time. I never stop. I never step back. I'm always moving forward. I just had my truck wrapped, and it's an extreme wrap. It's a Tallulah branded truck, and I'm excited about that. And just really looking for opportunities all the time to grow the business.
Well, and you pretty much went out and found the information on the product line. I mean, we can talk about as a business owner, because so many of our listeners are business owners and they own their own business, or they're trying to determine how to expand. What can you advise to them, or lessons learned along the way that you would share with our listeners that are chamber members as far as how you've been able to grow your company, and maybe some of the mistakes you made early on that you learned from, and really just, I want to pass forward because I know you've said that you are out there supporting so many businesses. Anything that you can do to spread the word and give advice, you do that.
Well, when you start, you don't need, I didn't have a mentor. I didn't have anyone. I just had myself to start the business. And along the way, the chamber found me, and I've been really supported by the chamber and different things. But you can start a business with just your idea. Nobody has to say it's a good idea. Nobody said, "Hey, Ashley, great idea. Open a CBD only store." They said the opposite. They said, "You're a teacher. You're a mom. You don't know business. What are you doing?" I said, "Well, I'm doing it." And I opened the store, and I just had a credit card, and I put everything on the credit card because, as you know, maybe you guys don't know, but a new business owner has a hard time getting a loan. I mean, there's not a lot of money out there, especially for an industry like mine and someone with no experience, no business degree. So, and not a lot of resources because I was new in town. So I just put, $20,000, it came up to $40,000, I think, on the credit card, but I paid it off as soon as I could. And yeah, I had interest, but that's what built the business, and just building through that. And today I still have trouble getting loans because the industry is highly regulated and people don't want to, the banking system with THC products is very restricted. So even today, through my expansions, now I've used a credit card, and then I just pay it off. And I don't have a lot of friends I talk to. They look for investors and they look for partners, or they think they need angel investors, that type of thing. But I've actually found the most success in just listening to my intuition and not having to answer to someone else, not having an investor and having to check in with them with what I want to do. I just do what I want to do, what I think is right. And that's really powerful. I don't have to check with my husband. We're divorced. I just do what I feel is right. And a few times, like, I've looked at different locations and really explored different options. But then at the last minute, I would say, no, I don't think this is right. It doesn't feel right. And then I've gone a different direction. So it's okay to try different things out and then decide not to do that. But I'm always exploring options, and I'm not afraid to try different things and use different techniques to leverage myself. And then I'm also not afraid to grow. When you grow quickly, people think it's exciting. They think, wow, she's doing something right. How did she, during COVID, open, 2 other locations? How is she, prospering? When you are able to grow quickly and get excitement for the brand, generate a good employee pool, and really have people buy into your brand, it's really great, and the momentum will drive you forward. Versus some of the other businesses in town, they'll have one store, and then I see like the momentum dying out after a year and a half, especially with restaurants, just because they're tired, they're maybe burnt out, and they're not really out there networking as much as they could be, or advertising. I've really been big on the billboard, advertising, and just getting out there and trying to network, spread your brand, build excitement, and just do your best, because I really only had one shot at this. After I gave up teaching, it's not like I come from a background of money or anything like that. And now that I'm single, I have a boyfriend, but now that I'm on my own, it comes down to me. So you really want to go big and go strong and keep working it. There's no time when you just want to sit back and say, oh, I'm at 3.5 years. I'm just going to head out of town and take some breaks. I'm still driving forward and working hard.
Well, I think that's great advice. I think I hope our listeners listen and then pass this on to other individuals they know, because that's why, as a Chamber of Commerce, we do this. And you had mentioned some of the programming that you're involved in and that you support, whether it's our Access Tallahassee, or you're in a leads group, or you come and listen to Dr. Jerry Osteryoung, that is free to our members, Business Builder Mentor Program. But, so obviously it's in your DNA. You are highly motivated, inspired, talented in your own way. And I think not everybody is like that. So maybe what you can do is maybe offer up, you might have made a mistake along the way in 3.5 years. Maybe what surprised you, what mistake did you make, and how does, or maybe you didn't, but we always are learning, each and every one of us. So maybe you can just look at one of those examples and see what you did or how that moved you into a space that you didn't expect to find yourself, and how you kind of maneuvered through that. And now looking back, how do you build off of that as well?
Yeah. Well, the industry that I'm in, the smoke shop industry, is highly male dominated. So I was just in Vegas. Every booth was run by men, and the industry, you're just from your distributors to your product sales guys, everybody is male dominated. So learning how to navigate that world and then use advantages I have to find some helping hands. So like Tallulah isn't your typical smoke shop. People who come to Tallulah don't think they're, in the typical, gas station smoke shop. So just having a nice, warm presence. And then now that the brand has grown, the employees are more finding, they come to me. Whereas before, the biggest mistake I made was it was really hard to recruit employees to work in a store where they weren't sure. I would get a lot of people say, well, I don't know if this will look good on my resume. I'm going to be a teacher. I can't work at Tallulah. I would get a lot of people who looked like they wanted to work in a smoke shop, whereas I was building a brand that was more of like your everyday feel-good brand. So just trying to build up your brand and staying true to your brand is really important. You have to know your brand and what you're going for. So like Tallulah's brand is health and wellness, cutting edge products, THC, mushrooms being on trend, and then having an accessible store where people can come in and feel invited and friendly, nice employees. So I've stayed on brand the whole time. And even when I couldn't find employees to work, I just had to work 7 days a week, until 9 or 10 p.m. with my daughter. And you just have to do it until you get to that point when you don't. So it's rough. But then like now I feel like I'm in the best spot I've ever been in. I'm able to step back from each store because they have good leadership at each store. But it wasn't like that. And it took a lot longer than I thought. I told myself like after the first year, like I can't continue like this. I'm going to burn out. But really the 3-year mark is really when I saw some turnaround.
So, and knowing that, the 3-year mark that's so interesting because we hear that from businesses on so many fronts, you either make it or you don't make it. So as you move forward, and we think this is just a unique trend that we're trying to ask business owners to pass forward that information. We're in a different time in the economy and just so many types of trends. So as you plan, are you planning on an yearly basis now? So for instance, that standard question of where's the company in 3 years? Where's the company in 5 years? We're finding as a chamber, and we're talking to businesses, that time frame is different depending on who you talk to. So for you, as you plan out, do you just kind of, because it's moving so fast, are you on an annual basis? Like if we did this a year from now, do you think you'd be further along than you thought you would be, or what are you trending or planning for?
It's really tough in this industry because it could change. The regulations could change at any moment, or the economy, something could happen. But I'm pretty confident this year, but with the recreational landscape on recreational marijuana, that could change everything next year. So I'm ready to make pivots if necessary, but for the rest of this year, I have it pretty planned out. But the next year, we'll see what happens.
That standard question of what do you find yourself thinking about late at night when you finally do get to bed? Is there something that just presses on your mind? I'm not going to say worries you or scares you, but what does that look like for you?
It's still hard for me to deal with employees sometimes. So it's usually employees that I'll be thinking about at night. And sometimes in business, you want people to work out and you really like them but they're not the right fit for your business. And that keeps me up at night. It's really hard in this time to get good employees and to find them and to keep them, but then to also let them go. So letting them go is also very important to do. You don't just want to keep people around who are bringing your company down. So that's pretty much the weight on my chest all the time. It's difficult.
And if you can give the 2 to 3 characteristics of the employee that has worked best for the culture you've built.
Someone who is using the products They are heavily invested in the industry, and then they're reliable and trustworthy.
Okay. Well, this we have a tremendous reach with our podcast, and we know individuals, and not only just in Leon County, but neighboring counties. And it's important that you get that message out as well. And we know you're doing it through your avenues, but we're happy to be able to spread that for you, especially as you're so successful and working so hard and contributing to our local economy. And I guess the question is, so what's on the horizon in the wellness arena?
Mushrooms are super, super hot right now. So you have functional mushrooms, which can help, or they may help prevent Alzheimer's. I have trouble with focus and ADHD. So they've been really great for me holistically. So I take the mushroom gummies and the tincture and the drinks. The mushroom drinks are amazing. And then you have the legal trippy mushrooms as well, which are making a comeback. This is not psilocybin. That is illegal. We do not sell that. But there are some other mushrooms that are available now that are safe and you can try. And it's great with our mushrooms because you can micro dose them. So you can start really small. Mushrooms are super hot and they're trending everywhere.
Well, Ashley, what would you like to say to you are here in our community, and we're glad you're here. It was a long little road trip from Seattle to find your way here. But what would be your message to the community or the business community as someone who lives here and that you've invested in the community and you also give back? We've talked about the support you've given to our Access Tallahassee program, our other businesses. What would you like your parting message to be?
I would say get out there and network, but also support your fellow business owners. For instance, yesterday was Sunday. I had a pedicab I scheduled with Mike from Pedicab Mike, Capital City Pedicabs. And then I went to Railroad Square and set up an art session with pixels and pigments with Kayla. Did that with my daughter. That night, I went out with Brianna from BreeSafe. I'm just trying to, when you give to other people, they will give to you. I see a lot of business owners just asking people to use their products or to support them, but that's not the right way to do it. When you support someone else with your money and your time, they will come around and support you. You don't need to ask people. I don't say, come into Tallulah, try a mushroom product, try a kava drink. I say, how can I support you? What do you need? And it's usually they need money. So you're usually needed to buy their products. So I support them first, and then it comes back around to me. And I've been doing that the second I moved into Tallahassee. Any store, anywhere, you're building relationships and you're supporting, especially as a female, I support women-owned businesses. I focus on that often, but any business is great too. And just building those relationships through supporting them, not focusing on what you need, but focus on what they need and check back in with them when they say they're struggling or they're need a second job. How are you doing? You're there for them. And then in turn, they will bring you business.
Mm-hmm. Well, that's wonderful. Ashley, I think a lot of our listeners, if they haven't had a chance to see you or meet with you, will probably want to get in touch with you. So where can they find you? I know you're moving around a lot. Or what's the best website or just to learn more about your company? And we'll close on that.
Yeah, our website's TallahasseeCBD.com. You can email me at TallahasseeCBD at gmail.com. Thanks for having me, Sue.
Perfect, Ashley. Thanks so much.